This your boy DJ Wolf here. I gotta do another podcast because I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, especially this time of year. All right, I call this I don't know how to call this. It's either gonna be called Waiting on the Windfall or Brother, Could You Give Me the Hookup? I don't know, maybe I'll do two separate ones. Well, anyway, I was thinking, now, somebody who I know, this was several years ago, I don't want to give out too much information about it, but they were trying to get a ride with me to go somewhere, right? This happened about 6-7 years ago. We were going down south. So I give him a ride, where I offered to pick him up, right? He stayed probably about 35 minutes from my house. He lived in the district, upper northwest, right? So I gave him plenty of time to be ready. Told him the night before, well, we're going to pick you up at such and such time. So we go pick this fool up. And you know what this Bama said to me? Because he was late. We had to wait 15 minutes on his ass because we were running late. We had to go pick some more people up. And he knew that. He said, well, I don't have a house like y'all. What the fuck do a house got to do with you not being ready to be picked up when you live in a goddamn apartment? Boy, niggas, I swear, nigga got the dumbest fucking excuses in the goddamn world. It pisses me off. You know, he's trying to compare about his rationale for being late when he had plenty of time. He knew at the time we were going to pick him up. We had to wait an extra 20 minutes for him because he was just slow. And his excuse was, well, I don't live in a house like y'all. But you live in a fucking apartment. You got less to have to secure before you go out of town, dummy. You know, the thing you do is just lock your fucking door. If that's it. You know, in some cases, in some houses, depending on the house, you have to make sure all the windows locked. You gotta make sure that I know you ain't blowing me. You gotta make sure the windows locked. You gotta make sure that all the stoves turned off. You gotta make sure everything turned off. But same thing in the apartment. But the difference is, you ain't got to secure the house. In some cases, you got to make sure the garage locked and all that. You got to do a lot of different stuff. But what I understand, this dude wasn't even married. He's not even married. So you got less to be concerned about. He was a single guy. He come up with the dumbest shit in the world. Well, I can't do it. Man, I don't want to hear that mess. And you're getting a ride, and you ain't got to go nowhere. I got to one guy go up there and do all that and make sure the car is out and ready to run and all that stuff. And, it's tons of stuff I had to do that you don't have to do. And and his excuse for being late was because he don't have a house. Like, somebody was supposed to provide him, like I was supposed to provide him a house. I'm personally supposed to provide. What are you waiting on? Like, I'm responsible for personally providing this fool a fucking house. I'm like, not the damn way. You gonna put a left? Boy, I tell you, these people cannot drive. He come up, get in the right lane, then you gonna put a signal on like you about to go back in the left. That's why I hate driving this part of DC. I really, really do. Because it's the most congested of all of them this time of year, especially this time of year. So anyway, it's just, his excuse was just totally lame. And throughout my 50-some-odd years, I've been hearing tons of excuses like that almost all my life. Not just from guys like this douche. But I've heard that same excuse from cousins, friends, neighbors, parents, kids, everybody. And pretty much most of the 9% that I knew that did that just happened to be black. You know. Oh my God, really? Fucking fool. Good Lord, these people are just so treacherous out here. They're ready to hit your damn shit. And I just got this mug too. And I went through that before, about a year and a half, about almost 2 years ago. Somebody hit my my truck, and I was like, I ain't had the damn car 3 days. Man, these people are just trifling, butt trifling ass people. I swear to God. Man, I'm fearful about Friday, because Friday they're gonna do this. Gonna be 10 times worse because of Black Friday. But at least, well, we'll see. Anyway, like I was saying, before I really got fucking interrupted. Excuse my French. What I'm trying to say is that we always got our culture is entwined in looking for that big windfall. And look it up. When I say the big windfall, you got people like I'll give you an example. My dad play lottery a lot back in the 70s and 80s when the Ohio Lottery set up shop in the mid 70s. For years, I used to go over there and play lottery for him. And then he, conjure up a series of numbers, 3-digit box, straight, back up, all of that mess, right? So, in any case, you see people do that all the time out here, playing, the different numbers. And over the years, he increased the numbers. He started playing all these different unique number combinations and stuff. Then he started spending more money. He was spending probably average about $50, $75 a night. Of course, he wasn't playing the numbers. I was playing the numbers for him every night for several years, and I was in line probably about as long as almost an hour and a half. Every night, all the way out the door. For many, why do people wait so damn late to get over? You knew that coming across here, you dummy. That's what really kills me about some of these people, these arrogant ass fuckers out that drive out in DC, man. And Cleveland's not getting no better as far as driving. But we spend all this money, trillions of dollars. It's been estimated that blacks, African Americans, spend collectively $3 to $5 trillion a year on goods. And I don't mean just food goods. I mean anything from, cars to electronics. We spend it. I give you an example. I went past this housing project. Absolute, 100% true story. And I know some people are, well, you see that? I don't want to hear it. Bottom line is, I went through this housing project one time, years and years ago. And guess what they all had? They didn't have cable. They had no regular television antennas. They had direct TV. And at the time when they had it, I didn't even have it. Yeah, in the projects. True story. So I'm like, huh? And I'm like, I was like, wait a minute, I thought black people said they got people with problems and they ain't get no money. But yet you got cable up the ass. Dozens of people over there had Direct TV, Dish Network. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They sure did. Yep, sure did. Direct TV and Dish Network. I was like, oh, I'll be damn. Like, really? They sure did. So, the reason why I say that, we spend more than we save. I've been guilty of that from time to time, but I learned over the years to budget my money where I don't go off balance, where I know where I need to spend and where I know where I don't need to spend. And I try to spend on stuff that I need, not necessarily stuff I want. Like I had to make a purchase this past weekend. And the way it was something I needed, but it was more of something I really, it was kind of something I wanted, but it was more of something I needed. It was more of a need than a want. It was more of a need than a want. than anything else. So, and I had to do it. I had to make the purchase, but I made sure that I made sure that what I spent didn't go over budget. You know, a lot of times we don't like to budget anything. What we do like to do is get money. We like to get that windfall. So whatever we get, we figure, oh, we'll make up for it later. I hope I didn't get caught by the light. You know. And anyway, like I said, we like the windfall. You know. We don't like to save much. We like to call ourselves trying to wiggle around different things. We like to, you know, how can I put it? We like to just ease our way out of different things. You know? We do. This is what we do best. We like to ease our stuff. And like I said again, this is what we do best. But with the windfall, when we get that windfall, oh man. A good example. That girl, what was that? The Marie Holmes. This girl had a windfall. She got in the lottery. And she was fortunate. I forgot exactly how much. I know it was like it was $100 million lottery win, plus something to the tune of that nature. So this job ass nigga that she was dating, I think he was a mother of two of her kids, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall it, but he was doing all kind of different stuff, getting in different dusty, dirty stuff, and of course, it got to a point where she tried to bail him out, but she was bailing him out to the tune of average of about $6 million every time he got locked up. I'm like, really? Really? I said, this is insane. Totally, absolutely insane. And she bought this old ass plantation house. That's what I'm like, really? I mean, of all the houses you could have bought, you bought this giant old ass plantation house that, to be honest, she didn't keep up and it looked like shit. They bought all kind of cars. She didn't invest her money in nothing. You know, only thing she invested was in niggerdom. You know, and niggerdom. Yeah, you know what I mean? Niggerdom. I mean it. Because she got the money and now, you know, you got somebody bleeding out. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. Well, think about it. Why didn't you just put that money, a certain portion of that money in a bank and let it grow? She didn't save no money for her kids. I mean, she just wasted it up. Wasted it. You know? And then when she got the money for the kids, there, you know, putting, you know, kids first, what'd she do? She sent her kids to live with her mother all across the other side of the United States. Yeah. I just shook my head. I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You got to be fucking kidding me. And that's exactly what the hell she did. That's exactly what she did. So, and then she, you know, I don't know. I think she got in debt or something. I think she nearly broke or something. I don't know. But the bottom line is, that's just a prime example of somebody in our culture with too much money. And people was like, oh, you should condemn her for that. Oh, yes, I am. Because if you knew you had that kind of money and you knew there was things, and then she even promised to help her church out, and I think the pastor tried to sue her or something. Like, I don't know. There was some whole mess with that. But my thing over there is, you got to learn to balance your money, man. If we could pool our monies together, we could do some great things in terms of wealth and stuff like that. I hear guys like TBA talking about that all the time on YouTube, and he's totally right. You know, but we don't want to do that. We want to get a little money. We want to party and bullshit. I know somebody personally who I've tried to help, and it was more about them I remember they told me last year, well, I'm used to having a certain lifestyle. Like, I'm going to try to support your lifestyle because you didn't try to do anything else in your life earlier on to try to make it right. All right? When that person was told, specifically told, 30 some odd years ago, to invest in a 401k, because I'm sure they had invested that 401k would probably been worth some money right now for that person. And they could have probably took some of that, invested, and lived off of some of the rest of it. But they wouldn't do it. And I was right there when they told them that. See, we don't even listen to our advices given to us by our own people, but we'll listen to it somebody white to you then. And I've seen it happen too. You know. But sound advice is sound advice regardless of who's telling you that. I will say that. But we just don't take our own advice. We're too busy wanting to live it up before we can build up. Yep, that's right, I said. We're too busy trying to live it up before we can build up. And what I mean by that, you know, we get that little windfall money or whatever, like tax time. You know, black people, we're synonymous with making sure we'll wait till I get my money right type of attitude. Get them taxes. You find them taxes. I'll get back $3,000. I'm getting back $4,000. I'm getting back $6,000. Next month they broke it in a joke. You know? Because they're too busy thinking about the windfall and they thinking about investment. You know, I mean, sound investments is something that could actually help the money grow. Like a small business. You know, like market funds, money market funds, stuff like that. I mean, people, they don't think about stuff like that. You know? Because the person who was told about getting a 401k back in the early 80s when 401k was first gaining prominence, they were like, I don't want to invest my money in all my people bank and all that. So, blah, blah, blah. I was like, really? You know, 401k is a wise move. Trust me, it is. I know for a fact it is. But we don't want to do stuff like that. Fast we make money, we spend it. Because we don't use any common sense. We don't. And until we start doing it, we're going to start fucking ourselves. Because that's kind of what we're doing now. Because we don't listen. We don't listen to anybody. We just want to do what we want to do. And no consequences. And then if you do suffer consequences, you don't want to hear it. So you can learn from that. That's part of our problem. You know. And until we can get to that point where we actually can start learning to build and use common sense, you know, and use to do right with our money instead of all kind of garbage and spending money on a lot of bullshit that you don't freaking need, and stop trying to get stuff that you can't afford just because it's nice, or just because it looks good, or just because, well, I need to have it. You gotta change the mindset. That's like, you know, the kids out here trying to buy $300 pairs of shoes and live in a two-bit projects. I've seen it happen. Seriously, I know somebody personally who buys $250 pair of shoes for their kids, and they live in a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, and no father around. Really? They can't afford to buy them shoes because they can barely afford to survive. We got to change our mindset, man. We got to change this things in our culture we definitely got to change. I'm sorry. We got to grow up. Like I always say, we got to grow up. And unless we're willing to grow up, we're going to be in the same old rut with the slavery mindset, the slavery mentality, I call it. You know, or the political plantation, which is where we're in right now. A la Donald J. Trump. We're in that political plantation for the next 4 years. That's a lock. Not only with Trump, but next 2 years with Congress. Oh, yeah. Excuse me for a second. Yet still, people want to protest. What's protest going to do now? Should have thought about that when you vote. When you know, you've been protesting long before the election came through. You know, you should have thought about if you were at least going to vote Republican, vote for anybody but Donald Trump. I mean, good God. Somebody with a mindset, man. Because I know at least one or two candidates, if I was voting Republican, I would have voted for other than Donald Trump. You know, everybody was psyched into the hypocrisy of his popularity. You know, that he was the common man. This mother ain't been no common anything. He never had a common life. You know, for those idiots who are reading illiterate, and I mean the ones who don't bother to who can read and don't bother to read, and the ones who can't read, get somebody to get the information for them. And I'm talking about in terms of trying to find out who this guy really was about. You know, he's never been poor. He's never had to starve. He's always had quality, good life his entire life. He's never one for naught. You know, he's always had whatever he wanted all his life. He never had to work that hard for it. You know, not to say that he never worked. He just never had to work that hard to get what he wanted. Guys like me did. You know, guys like me didn't come from a silver spoon. My folks weren't rich. You know, my dad worked in the mine for over 30 years. My mom worked in the hospital for 35. You know, neither one of them were rich. I'll tell you right now. Well, you know, we did okay. We got through. You know, we weren't poor, but we weren't rich. And I had to work myself. And I raised my kids to work hard and do what they need to do. They ain't come from no silver spoon either. And one time I was so broke, I had $5 my name for the whole week. That's how bad it was for me, man. Very bad. I had to start pawning off stuff so my son wouldn't starve to death as a young baby. That's how bad it got for me at one time. I mean, very bad. You know? And I vowed. I said, I ain't going through that mess again. And see, as African Americans, we should do the same thing. We should have the same mindset where, you know, we vow, hey, you're going to be any kind of parent, be a mother, father, or guardian, or adoptive parent, do right by your kids, man. Vow to be the best you can be so you can make them the best they can be. Enough of that pussyfooting around. When you get kids, man, sometimes it's time for you to grow up and cut out some of that partying and bullshit. Real talk. Or don't have them at all. When I mean don't have them at all, don't go up there and try and get pregnant just so you can have a kid and tell everybody I got a baby too. To try to keep it with everybody else. Because that's some of our problems too. I've seen that on shows like Maury and stuff where girls was trying to have kids at 12, 13 years old. And being encouraged. And some people try to encourage them. Although the mamas come on and say, no, I ain't no, be bullshit. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on it. You know, give you a little something to chew on. Because I had something that I had to think about that I had to chew on and get off my chest. You know, windfall, waiting on a windfall ain't gonna do it for you people. Trust me on that. You gotta work for it. And that's one of the values that we need to start teaching more to our kids. And at the same token, we have to set those examples of those values so that our kids, it will reflect on our kids. Because whatever you do in your home, that's what your kids going to do when they see you do it. And when they grow up. Trust me. Okay? We have to set better examples as parents. And I know, and I'm sick of people talking about, well, Obama shouldn't be telling what I need to be doing. Okay, well, maybe he shouldn't tell you in the public like that. Or maybe not. But somebody got to fucking tell you. Especially when you ain't had nobody at home to tell you that stuff. Sorry. That's how it works. Problem is, we don't want to hear what's good for us. We don't want to hear what we need to do that will be good for us. That's the fucking problem. And until we're willing to listen to that, we're never going to get anywhere. Period. This is DJ Wolf. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of something to chew on, because that was something that was chewing on at the bit, or chomping. I was chomping at the bit to talk about. Again, I will talk about stuff like that more often. Still working on to get my website up and running. Hopefully I have my website up and running by the end of this week, for a number of reasons. So I get you links on Black Friday, thoughts about Thanksgiving, all my video links from all my channels, and everything else, as well as podcasts. It's called For All to Hear Media.com. That's for all, then the number 2 media. I'm sorry. It's for all to hear media.com. And that's for all, the number 2 hear media.com. What's this fool doing out here, man? What? This is like really? These people, I swear. Guys, let me get off of this podcast tonight, man. It's DJ Wolf. I'll talk to you guys later.